United States, the fast food nation. The US is home to some of the worst eating habits in the world. Fast food is everywhere, from cheap dollar menus to greasy drive-thrus. Nearly 40% of Americans are obese, and heart disease runs rampant. The rise of fast food isn't just a coincidence, it's ingrained in American culture. The 1950s saw the birth of fast food chains like McDonald's, and now these greasy giants have made processed food the go-to for most meals. It's not just bad for the waistline, it's killing people slowly. With convenience being the priority, Americans are paying the price with their health. Fast food is now a symbol of America's unhealthy obsession with speed and excess. India, the pollution crisis. India's pollution problem is out of control. In cities like Delhi, air quality often hits hazardous levels, leaving millions at risk of respiratory diseases. With over 1.3 billion people and a rapidly growing economy, waste management is a nightmare. Cars, factories, and construction sites are spewing toxic fumes, while burning trash in the streets is a common sight. The result? India is home to 14 of the 20 most polluted cities in the world. The government has struggled to keep up, and many citizens are just trying to survive the toxic air. If nothing changes soon, the consequences will be catastrophic for future generations. China, the smoking epidemic. China is a nation that's practically addicted to smoking. With over 300 million smokers, it's no wonder that China accounts for about 40% of the world's cigarette consumption. Smoking is deeply embedded in the culture, from business meetings to social gatherings, and there's very little stigma around it. While the government has started cracking down on smoking in public places, the issue is still widespread. Lung cancer rates are soaring, and secondhand smoke is a constant risk. In a country where tradition and social norms are strong, breaking free from the smoking culture remains a huge challenge. Russia. Alcoholism on a national scale. Russia has a deep-rooted drinking problem. Alcohol consumption is responsible for a large chunk of Russia's health issues, from liver disease to a staggering mortality rate. Vodka, the national drink, has been a part of Russian life for centuries, but it's also been a silent killer. In the 1990s, alcohol consumption peaked, and it's only in recent years that the government has started to address the crisis. With the average Russian male living just over 60 years due to alcohol-related health problems, it's clear that Russia's drinking habits are causing serious damage. Despite some improvements, the legacy of alcoholism is still very much alive. Japan, the workaholic culture. Japan has one of the highest suicide rates in the world, and the work culture is a big part of the problem. The Japanese are known for their commitment to their jobs, but it's taken to unhealthy extremes. Karoshi, or death by overwork, is a real phenomenon in Japan. People work long hours, often without a single break, and taking vacations is seen as a sign of weakness. The obsession with perfection and productivity has created a society where mental health is often neglected. Though Japan is one of the most efficient countries in the world, it's paying a high price for its relentless work culture. Mexico, obesity and sugar overload. Mexico is battling one of the highest obesity rates in the world. With nearly 30% of the population classified as obese, the country is facing a health crisis. A major culprit? Sugar. Mexico is the second largest consumer of sugary soft drinks globally, and the sweet tooth is hard to shake. Traditional diets are being replaced with processed foods and fast food, leading to widespread health issues like diabetes. The government has tried to tackle the problem with soda taxes, but it's going to take more than that to change a nation's addiction to sugar. Mexico's future health looks grim unless the country overhauls its eating habits. Brazil. Environmental neglect. Brazil has one of the most biodiverse ecosystems on the planet, the Amazon rainforest, but it's under constant threat. Deforestation in Brazil is happening at an alarming rate, with the government and farmers prioritizing agricultural expansion over environmental protection. The Amazon, often referred to as the lungs of the earth, is rapidly losing its ability to absorb carbon dioxide, and species are going extinct. With illegal logging and mining rampant, Brazil's environmental neglect is not just a national issue, it's a global one. If things continue on this path, we'll lose one of the world's most important natural resources. Australia, the trash problem. Australia, a beautiful country with stunning landscapes, has a trash problem. The country produces tons of plastic waste, and despite efforts to increase recycling, much of it ends up in landfills. In cities like Sydney and Melbourne, trash piles up faster than the city can handle. Plastic straws, bottles, and bags litter the streets and beaches. The Great Barrier Reef, already under stress from climate change, is further threatened by this pollution. Australia is trying to reduce plastic waste, but its reliance on disposable products is making it an uphill battle. If Australians don't start changing their habits, they could lose their pristine environment for good. South Korea. Unrealistic beauty standards. South Korea is a country obsessed with beauty, and it's affecting the mental health of its population. The beauty standards in South Korea are unrealistically high, and the pressure to meet them is causing widespread issues, especially among young people. Cosmetic surgery is booming, with procedures like double eyelid surgery and rhinoplasty being common. The rise of K-pop idols, who all follow these beauty norms, only fuels the obsession. Suicide rates in South Korea, especially among young women, are among the highest in the world, partially due to these societal pressures. Beauty is important, but at what cost? United Kingdom. Excessive drinking. The United Kingdom has a drinking culture that's out of control. The stereotype of Brits downing pints at the pub is far from an exaggeration. The UK has one of the highest rates of alcohol consumption in Europe, and binge drinking is a serious problem. The effects? Higher rates of liver disease, domestic violence, and public drunkenness. Despite awareness campaigns, alcohol is still a major part of social life, and the consequences are severe. If the UK doesn't find a way to curb its drinking habits, the health costs will continue to soar, and the culture of excess will persist. South Africa. Crime and corruption. South Africa has been dealing with rampant crime and corruption for decades. Violent crime rates are among the highest in the world, with cities like Cape Town notorious for gang violence. The police and political systems are also plagued by corruption, which only exacerbates the problem. The country's high unemployment rate, poverty, and inequality are breeding grounds for criminal activity. While South Africa has made progress since the end of apartheid, its current state is far from ideal. If crime and corruption aren't tackled, the country's potential for growth will be severely limited. Italy. The coffee addiction. Italy is a nation of coffee lovers, but it's reached unhealthy levels. The average Italian consumes about 7 kilograms of coffee per year, and espresso bars are a common sight in every town. Italians take their coffee seriously, but the over-reliance on caffeine is starting to take its toll. Coffee addiction has been linked to issues like anxiety, insomnia, and digestive problems. While coffee has a long cultural tradition in Italy, this addiction is now causing health concerns. If the country doesn't address its dependence on coffee, Italians might start feeling the negative effects in more ways than